I've got some actually incredible news. Generative AI slop cannot be copyrighted under US law. This is massive. Facebook is also apparently spying on people on the toilet with their smart glasses. Oh dear. ChatGPT and OpenAI are losing millions of subscribers, and the fallout from this is actually insane. And it concerns data privacy and absolutely everything. And also just straight up lying. It is insane. We've got some more details from Anthropic as well. There is tons to cover in this video, but we're going to start with the copyright stuff first because this is awesome. So check this out. AI generated art can't be copyrighted after Supreme Court declines to review the rule. Now, this is massive. This means that in the US, you cannot copyright any art that has been created with a generative AI model. Obviously, these generative AI models have been trained on actual artists' work, and they're just regurgitating different forms of it and different guises of it. It doesn't matter what the AI model is doing, none of it can be copyright protected, which means it's going to be very difficult to generate something out of one of these slop machines and then try and sell it. It's going to be very hard. And also, you won't be able to protect whatever IP you've just created. Now, this is absolutely amazing. I love this because AI has got a lot of legitimate uses. What is a wholly illegitimate use is the mass theft of artists' work and then just spewing out absolute slop, whether it's music, video, images, anything you can think of that should be created by a human. These models cannot organically create them. They just steal and they just combine. That's all they do. And I hate it. It is one of the worst uses of AI that we see everywhere, and it proliferates everything we do. And I hate it. So this is a massive milestone. This is really, 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 really good. We'll go over this article. So this is from Emma Roth over on The Verge, and she says, the US Supreme Court has declined to hear a case over whether AI-generated art can obtain a copyright, as reported by Reuters. The Monday decision comes after Stephen Thaler, a computer scientist from Missouri, appealed a court's decision to uphold a ruling that found AI-generated art can't be copyrighted. In 2019, the US Copyright Office rejected Thaler's request to copyright an image called A Recent Entrance to Paradise on behalf of an algorithm he created. The Copyright Office reviewed the decision in 2022 and determined that the image doesn't include human authorship, disqualifying it from copyright protection. This is great. This is actually great. After Thaler appealed the decision, the US court judge, Beryl A. Howell, ruled that in 2023 that human authorship is a bedrock requirement of copyright. That ruling was later upheld in 2025 by a federal appeals court in Washington, D.C. As reported by Reuters, Thaler asked the Supreme Court to review the ruling in October 2025, arguing it created a chilling effect on anyone else considering using AI creatively, which is just crazy, right? That is not using AI creatively. This is, if anything, it's creatively bankrupt people typing a prompt into a machine and going, wow, I've created this awesome spaceship design. This must be art. It's not. Trust me, mate, it's not. You know what I mean? Anyway, last year, the Copyright Office issued new guidance that says AI-generated artwork based on text prompts isn't protected by copyright. The Supreme Court's decision follows several attempts by Thaler to copyright and patent the output from his AI systems. The US Federal Circuit Court similarly determined that AI systems can't patent inventions because they aren't human, which is the US Patent Office reaffirmed in 2024, with new guidance stating that while AI systems can't be listed as inventors on a patent, people can still use AI-powered tools to develop them. The UK Supreme Court made a similar determination in a case brought forward by Thaler. So honestly, this is good news, right? I mean, I think that key element of human authorship being required, I think, is key. Now, obviously, when you start looking at the last line of that article, where they're saying, like, look, you can still use AI tools to help assist this, but it must be fundamentally made by a human. I think this is going to be a very murky area that we're going to need to work out as a species, to be honest. But I think this is a good sign, right? So it's one sort of win in the fight against generative AI slop art. So are you worried about your data security and privacy when it comes to using AI assistants? Well, let me introduce Lumo. This is Lumo, the private AI assistant built by Proton that you can trust. Lumo is an alternative to big tech, to the likes of ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot. And you, the user, have total control over your data. Lumo is also built and it is based in Europe, which means there is no US government oversight. It means there are no privacy issues that could come from big tech surveillance because it is outside of US jurisdiction. Lumo has 4 key factors that make it stand out. No logs policy, zero access encryption, private AI that you can trust, and it is based in Europe. So the no logs policy simply means Proton keeps no logs of your chat and none of the data is used to train any kind of advertisements. You control the data, not even Proton can see the data. Lumo also runs on transparent open source models. So again, you can check this and verify. Now, I don't think you guys need me to tell you this, but AI is just going to get bigger. So there is a serious security concern here when it comes to your privacy and your data. Do you really want all of your data being held by companies like OpenAI, by Google, your intimate data when you're chatting to these models, when there are alternatives you can speak to that are fully private like Lumo? I think this is pretty much a no-brainer. So Lumo is the best way to protect your privacy. Go over to proton.me/stylosa, create a free account and check this out for yourself. There is a link in the video description below as well. Thank you to Lumo from Proton for sponsoring today's video. So we've got to talk about ChatGPT and Sam Altman and OpenAI because this is getting mental. So Forbes is reporting 1.5 million users have left ChatGPT. Now, this article just goes on to say, like, you know, this is it just basically quickly briefs the situation and explains that you can very easily copy your memory over from ChatGPT, whether it's going to be to Anthropic or whatever. You can see here, look, click on your profile icon in the bottom left corner, select settings from the pop-up menu that appears, click data controls, click the export button that appears alongside the export data option in the bottom of the screen and follow the on-screen instructions. There is also a system over on Claude where you can import your memory because, of course, if you've been talking to these AI bots for a long time, it kind of gets to know you and it understands the type of responses you want, whether if you're using it for work purposes or whatever. Obviously, just starting a completely fresh account might be a bit jarring, but actually you can just transfer them across. But again, the big takeaway from this article is this: 1.5 million users have left. This is because of the major gaffes that Sam Altman has been making, especially in regards to the Department of War contract. So talking of the Department of War contract, right? Remember what Sam said. Now read the article. This is from Bloomberg, and it says, Altman tells staff OpenAI has no say over Pentagon decisions. This is after he said, no, we won't let them use our tools for mass surveillance and autonomous weapon systems. It has to be legal within the law. And then he says this, well, we ain't got no decision. You've got to remember as well, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it, the very same day he supported Dario from Anthropic saying, I support your position, he then took over his contract and will let them do whatever they want with his AI model. This guy is insane. This is absolutely insane. We'll read their AI takeaways because I always find this quite funny. OpenAI Chief Executive Officer Sam Altman told employees that the company doesn't get to make the call about what Defense Department does with its artificial intelligence software. The Defense Department will listen to OpenAI's expertise about the technology's applications, but does not want the company to express opinions about whether certain military actions were good or bad ideas. Doesn't this sound like you're just doesn't this sound like just give us your AI system, we're going to do whatever we like with it? You can go out in public and say, oh yeah, we don't like mass surveillance or fully autonomous weapons, fully autonomous kill chains. But we're just going to use it for that anyway. So we're going to tell you that. We don't want your input as well. We don't need to say that's a good or bad decision. And here's some money. This Sam Altman guy is an idiot. I keep saying this now. I feel like I'm getting quite aggressive towards this, but this is just crazy. Altman said, you don't get to make operational decisions. You do not get to make operational decisions, and is continuing to push for the Defense Department to abandon its designation of Anthropic as a supply chain risk. So it's just crazy, isn't it? It's like, yeah, you can use my shit for anything, but I'm going to try and still stand up for Anthropic. But all of this doesn't really matter because he doesn't really care. He's already now becoming embedded. So come with me over to the Wall Street Journal because, again, the fallout continues and OpenAI are losing staff as well as a result of this. So OpenAI CEO Sam Altman defends Pentagon work to staff. calls Backlash really painful. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman defended his decision to allow the Pentagon to use its tools for classified work, fielding questions from staff at an all-hands meeting Tuesday about the principles behind the decision. OpenAI announced its Defense Department deal on Friday, hours after Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth designated rival Anthropic a supply chain risk, a move rarely used against a US company. After backlash against the potential for OpenAI's deal with the Pentagon to allow for mass surveillance, the company changed its agreement to explicitly state that domestic surveillance isn't allowed. But then remember, he says we don't get a say in what they use our systems for. Altman said that while he didn't regret signing a deal with the Defense Department, he wished he hadn't announced the decision so quickly, telling staff that it looked opportunistic, no fucking shit, and not united with the field. According to remarks viewed by Wall Street Journal, his remarks echoed a memo he shared with staff and on X Monday in which he said the deal looked opportunistic and sloppy. Again, no shit. Like, it's insane. The guy was saying, I stand with my competitor on this. It's an ethical issue. And then hours later, fuck them, we'll take the contract. Crazy. A groundswell of AI researchers at the company and across Silicon Valley spent the past few days criticizing Altman and the company for what they saw as capitulation to the Pentagon by essentially agreeing to a deal that allowed AI to be used in all lawful cases. Some publicly peppered the CEO with questions on X, while employees made their case on OpenAI's Slack channel. Anthropic's Claude overtook ChatGPT as the most popular app in Apple's store for the first time. Many OpenAI employees had called for the company to sign a deal that explicitly banned the use of its technology for mass surveillance and fully autonomous weapons. Anthropic previously rejected the agreement that OpenAI accepted. It had been unusual in opposing some of the Trump administration's policies. Altman said in the all-hands meeting that it had been an unpleasant few days to try so hard to do the right thing and get so absolutely, personally crushed for it. And I know this is happening to all of you too, so I feel terrible for subjecting you to this. It's really painful. What the fuck? You know what I mean? What the fuck? Holy shit. I think this was an example of a complex but the right decision with extremely difficult brand consequences, a very negative PR for us in the short term. No, I don't think it is short term. I don't think this is. Originally I thought it's going to be hard, but to get traction for this. Then you started seeing things like Quick GPT popping up. And I think what's happened is, again, it's that cliche thing. It's that mask off moment. Sam Altman is showing that he just doesn't care. He will say one thing and do completely the opposite. And he's done it in such a public way here. I think it's actually broken through into the mainstream and he's shit in the bed, basically. That's what's going on here. News Corp, the owner of Wall Street Journal, has content licensing partnership with OpenAI. So at least they've given a bit of disclosure there. So, are they being critical? We'll see. OpenAI's Friday announcement blew open a long simmering debate about AI researchers, many of whom come from academic backgrounds, about whether they can trust business leaders to responsibly deploy their technology. OpenAI employees peppered Altman during the Tuesday meeting with questions about the boundaries of the agreement and the implications of working with the Defense Department. Altman said the government was willing to give OpenAI influence over how its technology was deployed. But remember, he's just literally said we ain't got no decision. We've got no input in what they do. And they've just said we don't want it. We don't want your input. And that he wanted his company to have a seat at the table in shaping future decisions. We have built a technology that is going to be the fundamentally most important tool for the government and governments around the world, he said. A strong US military had been a great benefit to all of humanity over the last 250 years, Altman said, adding that he respects that the military gets to make decisions. Clearly, the military has done things that I extremely disagree with, and I am sure will do more in the future. So the guy, you can't make this guy up, right? He just says both things at the same time. What? This is mental. In the meeting, Altman said that OpenAI was looking at a contract to deploy on all North Atlantic Treaty Organization's classified networks. An OpenAI spokeswoman later said Altman misspoke and that the NATO opportunity was for unclassified networks. Representatives for NATO didn't respond to requests for comment. You have to, deploying these systems across all of NATO militaries. When they fully don't know what they're doing as well, just seems insane. OpenAI has largely embraced President Trump's domestic AI strategy since Trump took office. The company has announced large investments with the administration to build data centers across the country. OpenAI President Greg Brockman and his wife donated $25 million to a Trump-aligned super PAC committee last year and are spending millions more to promote his AI agenda in the midterm elections. Well. Anthropic's week-long feud with the Pentagon over the startup's effort to limit the agency's ability to use its technology for mass domestic surveillance and autonomous weapons created an industry firestorm over how AI is used in the military and who should call the shots. After Claude played a role, we'll get onto Claude again in a minute, but after Claude played a role in the January military operation that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, an Anthropic employee asked Palantir counterpart how Claude was used. The Journal previously reported. Defense Department officials found out and were upset. People familiar with the matter said Anthropic has said it was a routine call between partners. Emil Michael, the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, said Tuesday at an event hosted by venture firm Anderson Horowitz in Washington that a chill goes up your spine when a company asks questions like that. The soul of their model, their constitution, which is not the US Constitution, can't be dictating our command and control environment, telling generals and warfighters what to do and not to do. And not to do. Michael said, if you don't believe in the system, as imperfect as it is, then what do you believe in? Michael said strikes in Iran over the weekend were also planned with the involvement of Anthropic's Claude models, the Journal reported. So I don't even know what to say, to be honest, with Sam Altman. It's just crazy. It's like he wants to say everything all of the time, come across like he's doing this, he's doing that, but actually he does the exact opposite. And this is an extremely untrustworthy individual to be running a company like OpenAI. Now, I know most CEOs are generally untrustworthy individuals, but the way Sam Altman conducts himself, the way this is doing brand damage to OpenAI, it's got to be a worry, right? For people invested in that and all of that stuff. To me, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But it's just insane to see the way this guy operates. So talking about the way this guy operates, look at this. It's damage control. GPT 5.3 Instant in ChatGPT is now rolling out to everyone. More accurate, less cringe. And I was like, hold on. Less cringe? Are they saying their older model was cringe? Like, what are these guys doing? I mean, that's how I'm reading this. It's like our old model was cringe that you were paying for. Again, it just seems crazy. Like, I don't think these guys know how to market their stuff. It's great. And yes, not just instant. What about 5.4 major model update? And I like what this guy's put in case of massive cancel subscriptions, break glass. Most likely generated with ChatGPT as well, that image. But yeah, they're just trying anything. So this is Max Schwarzer. Now, I'm going to say this is something which happens a hell of a lot. These AI researchers, AI scientists, AI engineers, they move around all of these companies all of the time. They are some of the highest paid jobs available. They are on incredible contracts, but they move around all the time. You can see that Max, he was the VP of research and head of post-training at OpenAI. Well, he says, I've decided to leave OpenAI. I'm incredibly proud of all the work I've been part of here, from helping create the reasoning paradigm with million, and goes on. But I think the news here is this is just a major guy stepping away, which is interesting. There's no direct attack in this on OpenAI, or I don't believe in what they're doing and all of this stuff. But the timing, it is suspect, isn't it? So this is, again, absolute comedy gold. These guys are terrible with communication. Like, look at this, right? So Noam Brown, this is research and reasoning at OpenAI. Puts a nice post up, says, no, we'll not be deploying to NSA and other Department of War intelligence agencies for now. So there's time to address potential surveillance loopholes through the democratic process. Now, we go down to the bottom here, and you'll see Sam Altman. This is internal memo that he posts, right? And look at the community note. In an all-hands meeting with OpenAI employees on Tuesday, CEO Sam Altman said his company doesn't get to choose how the military uses technology, which we've covered in this video from the Bloomberg article. This is the opposite of what Sam Altman is claiming in this post. So again, you've got Noam saying, no, they won't be deploying this, and we're going to address potential surveillance loopholes. But then we've got, no, actually, the Department of Defense can do what they like with our system. So I'm just going to be honest. They just can't be trusted, right? Anyone with any kind of following of the recent news, anyone watching this video, anyone interested in AI in any kind of level beyond just using it to generate a funny picture of themselves or the cats or the dogs or whatever, they're probably now becoming aware that OpenAI is a little bit shitty. And should they really be using their systems? Maybe they're going to be looking at other competitors. So, of course, we've seen Anthropic do really well. Claude rushing up to rank 1 on the App Store just because of all this absolutely negative, terrible, well-deserved negative PR that OpenAI has thrust upon itself. But remember, it's painful for them and for Sam. So if you want to get worried, right, Washington Post reports Anthropic's AI tool Claude central to US campaign in Iran amid a bitter feud. Advanced AI technology is identifying targets in Iran and quickly prioritizing them, supporting the massive military operations carried out by the US and Israeli forces. I thought they were cutting all ties with Anthropic. Apparently not. We know they've got a 6-month run-off period where they're trying to move their systems over. But this just shows you how even right now, these systems are so integral to these military campaigns. Now, this is a big worry for Anthropic, though, because, while we can sit here and go, yeah, they're doing well on the App Store, they have been deemed a supply chain risk, which means they can't work with any American government body effectively. Now, CNBC reports this. Defense tech companies are dropping Claude after Pentagon's Anthropic blacklist. A number of defense tech companies are telling employees to stop using Claude and to switch to other AI models following the Defense Department's ban last week. This is in no way reflected a perceived shortcoming of Claude, Alexander Harstick, managing partner of J2 Ventures, said regarding companies in his portfolio making a switch. While the Trump administration says it has blacklisted Anthropic, most of its messaging has come through social media rather than official channels. So the official channels note, the thing to be aware of here is this legal? Has there been all of the required legal, bits and bobs put together to make this actually happen? Is it just the administration and Trump and Hegseth and who else ever just making, claims out there? We're not going to use this. Get it out of our system. Now, it is deemed a supply chain risk, and so I'm sure whatever the legal systems are that need to be in place will get put in place. But the issue for Anthropic here is Claude obviously powers a lot of different AI tools. And if they can't work with the government, that's going to affect them. Now, remember, I'm not sitting here going, Anthropic are great, whoever else is great. But this is clearly going to affect them in a negative way. So, it's probably a little bit of a worrying time for Anthropic. On the other side, they are generating more money now from their business to consumer side rather than their business to business or their business to government side, which clearly has been damaged in the United States. So I just want to say, I fucking hate these things, right? I hate these things. The worst stuff on social media are those videos where people are walking around with these smart glasses and speaking to people who don't realize they're being filmed and trying to get them into compromising situations to then get views. It is fucking horrific. Them people should be banned off those platforms. But this is shocking. So this is Engadget, and they're reporting Meta's AI display glasses reportedly share intimate videos with human moderators. The company's terms of service allow AI annotation by workers in Kenya and elsewhere. Users of Meta's AI smart glasses in Europe may be unknowingly sharing intimate video and sensitive financial information with moderators outside of the block, according to a report from Sweden's Svenska. I can't speak Swedish, but whatever. Dagbladet. I can't say it. Whatever. Released last week. Employees in Kenya doing AI annotation told the journalists that they've seen people nude, using the toilet, engaging in sexual activity, along with credit card numbers and other sensitive informations. What the hell? What? What? I heard you liked Copilot and Microsoft. Well, check this out. So Microsoft is rumored to be planning launch of new modular Windows 12 operating system with a floating taskbar later this year. And it's going to be absolutely injected with AI. Now, there has been some discussion on this potentially being a subscription-based operating system, probably tied to your Copilot subscription. So now you can't just use Windows. You're going to have to pay monthly because you're going to get all of these fantastic AI slopification systems that Microsoft is known for. Now, the thing is, we're not sure, and I'm definitely not sure. I've not seen any confirmation on this. I think it's just rumors at the moment if it's going to be a subscription-based system. But I think irregardless of any rumors, whatever the next version of Windows will be absolutely like full of Copilot like you would not believe. I want to leave the video with this though. So this is a nice summary of Sam Altman, and this will kind of get you into the, will give you an idea of the person, right? So George Pugh says this: Sam Altman was fired by his own board. His co-founder Ilya left. His top researchers left to start Anthropic. His head of alignment quit. He dissolved the safety team and its replacement. He converted a non-profit into an $850 billion for-profit. He removed safely from the mission statement. His employees begged him to stand with Anthropic. He said he would. That night, he took the deal they refused, then announced it on X like a victory lap. And you still think this man is building AI for all humanity? So there we go. I think actually some decent like news today. The fact that the copyright laws look like they're going to at least protect human created content or allow it to be copyrighted, where completely generated AI stuff won't be, which is good. But apart from that, yeah, we're still seeing a lot of fallout from this OpenAI situation, from Sam Altman, from Anthropic, and I think it's just getting worse. Where this goes, who knows? All right, guys, thanks for watching today's video. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And if you've got any Meta smart glasses, I'd put some tape over the cameras and I'd do it right now. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next video.